Troy was a city of golden walls, rising proudly beside the sparkling Aegean Sea. Within these walls lived a family whose love was whispered in the softest of tones, a love that warmed the heart even as the shadow of war loomed over the city. Hector, the mighty defender of Troy, walked the city streets in the early morning, his armor still polished from the night before. Despite the looming battles, he carried himself with quiet strength, the kind of presence that made both allies and citizens look to him with respect and sometimes with awe. Hector's mind, however, was not on battles or strategies at that early hour. His thoughts were filled with his wife, Andromache. He pictured her delicate hands weaving cloth in the palace courtyard, her gentle voice calling to their young son, Astyanax, whose laughter filled the halls of their home. Even in these fleeting moments of peace, Hector felt the weight of his responsibilities press upon him. He knew that the war with the Greeks was far from over, that every day brought new danger, and yet he could not deny the warmth that Andromache's presence brought to his life. Andromache, for her part, moved quietly through the palace gardens, gathering herbs for their household. Her eyes, usually calm and steady, flickered with concern whenever she thought of Hector marching off to war. She knew the risks, the stories told of brave men who never returned, and yet her love for Hector gave her hope that he would always find his way back to her arms. She paused for a moment, holding a sprig of thyme, and imagined his hands brushing her hair as he would in moments of peace. That small memory made her heart ache with longing. When Hector returned home that evening, the city's walls shimmering under the golden sunset, Andromache ran to meet him. She could see the fatigue in his eyes, the faint lines of worry etched upon his brow, and the gentle weight of his heart that matched her own. Without a word, they embraced. Words were unnecessary. Their arms spoke volumes. In that embrace, there was love, comfort, and a fleeting safety that the world outside the walls could never take away. They held each other tightly, clinging to the warmth of the moment, knowing that tomorrow could bring a new battle, a new separation. Hector knelt to kiss the forehead of Astyanax, who clung shyly to his father's armor. His small hands traced the gold and bronze of the breastplate, fascinated by the gleaming symbols of Troy. Hector's heart ached to see his son so innocent, so unburdened by the horrors of war. One day, Hector whispered softly, "You will be brave like your father. But for now, be happy and know that I will always return to you." Andromache stood beside them, her hand resting gently on Hector's shoulder, offering silent support. The family lingered together as twilight descended, savoring every heartbeat, every glance, knowing it could be the last moment of simple happiness before the storm. That night, as the torches flickered in the halls of Troy, Hector and Andromache spoke of life beyond the war, of dreams they hoped to see fulfilled. They imagined a peaceful city where children ran freely through the streets, where the laughter of families echoed endlessly, and where the sun never seemed to set on a time of fear or sorrow. They spoke in hushed tones, afraid that the echo of their hope might vanish into the walls themselves, yet they clung to it as if it were the most precious treasure. And in those quiet moments, their love blossomed, strong, steadfast, and defiant even against the coming darkness.
Morning in Troy brought a sharp clarity, the kind that sharpened both blade and spirit. The city was alive with preparation, soldiers sharpening their spears, blacksmiths hammering metal, and mothers whispering prayers for the safe return of their sons. Hector walked through the barracks, each step deliberate, each glance heavy with thought. His mind returned again to Andromache, to the fleeting warmth of the night before, and to the son who would miss him should he fall. Duty weighed upon him like a stone, pressing on his shoulders with the relentless insistence of fate. He was Troy's champion, the shield of its people, and yet he could not ignore the quiet ache in his chest. For every arrow he would wield, For every enemy he would face, there was Andromache's soft voice reminding him of what truly mattered. He had been trained to fight, to protect, to endure. But love, he realized, demanded a different kind of courage, one he could not leave behind on the battlefield. Andromache sensed the change in him, even from afar. She walked along the walls, watching the soldiers drill, listening to the clash of weapons echo against stone. Her heart trembled with every cheer, every shout that meant Hector was alive, yet still close to danger. She wished she could wrap him in her arms, shield him from every spear, every blade. She whispered to the wind, sending her love toward him in silent prayer. Her longing was tangible, almost like a physical weight pressing against her chest, and yet it was intertwined with pride for the man who bore Troy's hopes. When Hector returned that evening, his armor smeared with dust and sweat, Andronsky ran to him, clutching his hands. "Hector, the battle tomorrow," she began, but he interrupted with a tender smile. "I must fight, my love, for Troy, for you, for our son." His voice carried not anger or frustration, but a deep, unwavering determination. Andromache rested her head against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart, a rhythm that had become her anchor. "I know. I only wish I could hold you safe in my arms forever." They spoke long into the night, their words weaving a fragile thread of hope. Hector shared his fears, not of dying, but of leaving Andromache alone, of missing the small joys of life that made it worth fighting for. Andromache, in turn, offered him courage, reminding him that love could endure even the harshest trials. Their connection was profound, a quiet understanding that their hearts would remain entwined no matter what the future held. And when sleep finally claimed them, it did so with the gentle assurance of a love tested by war, yet unbroken. The day of battle arrived with the rising sun casting long shadows over the walls of Troy. The city trembled with anticipation, soldiers marching into the unknown, and families clutching each other in silent fear. Andromache stood at the gates, her hands pressed together, her eyes fixed on Hector. She could see the determination in his stride, the proud set of his shoulders. But she also saw the sorrow in his gaze, the knowledge that every battle could be his last. "Hector," she said softly, stepping forward as he prepared to leave, "do not go. Stay with us. Stay with me. Stay with our son." Her voice trembled, thick with emotion. The plea was not for glory, not for honor, but for the man she loved, the father of her child, the keeper of her heart. Hector knelt before her, lifting her hands to his lips. "Andromache," he said, his voice steady despite the weight of the world, "I must fight. Troy depends on me. If I do not defend our city, there will be no tomorrow for any of us. But hear me. No matter what happens, my heart remains with you, always. Protect Astyanax, and remember that my love is stronger than fear, stronger than death." He embraced her tightly, the kind of embrace that spoke of longing, sorrow, and undying devotion. Their son clung to them both, unaware of the full danger, yet sensing the intensity of the moment. As Hector departed, Andromache remained at the gates, watching until he was but a small figure among the ranks of soldiers. Her heart ached, a deep, gnawing sorrow, mingled with pride. She whispered prayers into the wind, offering love and protection to the man who had given her his heart. Troy seemed quieter after his departure,
as if the city itself mourned the absence of its champion, and Andromache's eyes reflected the mixture of fear and hope that defined her every heartbeat. The battles raged for days, and news of Hector's valor reached Andromache with every messenger who entered the gates. She heard of his bravery, his honor, and his unwavering commitment to Troy. And yet her joy was tempered with fear. Each tale of heroism carried the shadow of mortality, a reminder that even the strongest could fall. She clung to memories of their love, the quiet nights, the laughter of Astyanax, and the gentle warmth of his embrace. Then came the day that changed everything. Hector fell in battle, struck down by Achilles, and the city mourned its greatest warrior. Andromache's world shattered, yet she did not waver in her strength. She wept, yes, but she also held Astyanax close, a living reminder of Hector's love and courage. Her sorrow was deep, yet it was also a testament to a love that had burned brightly, even in the shadow of war. Years passed, and though Troy eventually fell, the story of Hector and Andromache endured. Their love became legend, a tale whispered through generations, a reminder that even amidst heartbreak and tragedy, love could endure. Andromache's devotion, Hector's courage, their tender moments together, all became immortal, a testament to a love that was gentle, fierce, and eternal. Even in loss, love survived. Even in sorrow, their hearts remained entwined, proof that the bonds forged by true affection are never truly broken, even by the most cruel of fates. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more real-life love and emotional stories. Your support helps us bring more meaningful stories to life.